What up, Tilo?
What's up, my boy? Good to see you.
Good to see you. I know you're feeling a little bit down today on this show, but we'll get to it. But
I'm not alone.
How are things doing?
We're still processing. We're still processing right now.
All right. Good. Well, today marks the second episode of season 3, and today marks a new member joining us on Divided Podcast. So, Tilo, why don't you take away and introduce our newest member?
Absolutely, man. Look, this is a guy who I draw some correlations to you when I first met you, because when I met him, I was like, okay, this guy knows his stuff. It's not a guy talking about sports who doesn't know, who just gives us very plain takes and
sure,
and not knowing what they're talking about when you're talking to a group of people. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like their favorite team's the Lakers or the Yankees and stuff like that. Yeah,
whatever.
Like real fan,
knows the stuff. On top of being mad talented, and I had to extend my arm and say, bro, you got to join Divided, bro. You got to divide this show even more. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we want to welcome the one and only Brandon Combs to the Divided Podcast from Combs and Fitz. And my man works at BetMGM as well. He is well versed in the sports world. Chicago media, man, right here. Brandon, welcome in, bro.
What's going on, Tilo? What's going on, Grant? Man, I'm happy to be with you guys. Happy to talk some sports. Always happy to talk everything Chicago. Let's get to it.
It's Chicago, baby. Let's get
to Chicago.
It's Chicago. Hey, but first, as always, Tilo has to dig it in. Where can you find us at?
That's right, man. Don't forget to follow Divided on Spotify. Just look up Divided Podcast, and also on X, that is at Divided Podcast #2. Again, Divided Podcast #2. We also have a new TikTok, G.
Ooh, it's called TikTok now, huh?
At Divide Pod. We're all over the place, and a Facebook page coming to you very soon as well. So check us out on all the platforms. Hit the follow button. Hit the notification bell. Make sure you stay tuned with us. We're on every week, guys. Every week we're talking sports. It's season 3 of the freaking show. Let's get it.
Season 3, man. I can't believe it.
Did you mention the ChicagolandSportsRadio.com YouTube page?
And the ChicagolandSportsRadio.com station. I'm sorry. We are on now streaming via StreamYard on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. We are on StreamYard. If you do use StreamYard, look up Chicagoland Sports Radio. We are now doing these live, but also we'll pre-record this for you guys for you to hear later. But yes, live every show now. StreamYard, ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. Thank you, Brandon. That's why he's part of the team, man.
Yeah, he had to bring it up. You're the social guy. You're the guy who brings up all the socials.
I know, man.
You know, and you just forgot that.
You're the guy that brings up all the socials, but sometimes you're also the guy that, puts us 20 minutes behind our podcast.
I'll be fair. I'll be fair with Tilo this time. We were on the same highway, 290. It was a mess today.
Say it's Chicago again?
It's Chicago.
Oh, God, it's Chicago. That's for sure.
Jeez.
All right, let's jump it in, boys. Let's get to it straight away.
Yes.
And the Bears, man. Me and Tilo talked about it last show. They've had a magical season, winning the NFC North out of nowhere, it seems like, and then beating the Packers in the wild card to get their first playoff victory since 2010, first home victory as well. But winning into the divisional round, going against the LA Rams, it took overtime, but they lost 20-17. I'll just throw it to you guys first. I want to get your initial reaction of the game. How'd you guys feel? What were the emotions like? And what were your biggest takeaways from the game? I know that's very broad, but I'll just throw it to you guys first.
I'll go first before Brandon goes. I going into this game, we already knew what the situation was. I honestly, with the weather conversation wasn't a big part of my take. I was just like, this is Matthew Stafford. He is a potential MVP, and these are the freaking Rams. Regardless of how many games they lost, this is the toughest team the Bears have faced all year, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. So I already went into it predicting a 3-point loss, mind you. I predicted 34-31, the Bears losing. Bears fans, don't kill me. But I was trying to be realistic with what was going on, especially with the defensive side of things, not looking up to par with the way we've seen it. But, man, the defense did do their part for the most part in this game. I really felt like they hunkered down. Dennis Allen was really making great play calls. The defensive line was actually applying pressure to the quarterback. Matthew Stafford had little time.
He got sacked 4 times in the game.
Yeah, he got it was good to see the defensive side do their thing, but the Rams defense also stepped up. You got to look at what they did on the defensive side and give them their props. I'm trying to be quick with this take because we don't have a lot of time, but when Caleb threw that ridiculous touchdown, it's got to be a top 5 throw in NFL history. I don't care what anybody says. That was absolutely insane. For it to be 4th down, my gut feeling was like, we're gonna win the Super Bowl. This is insane. This is about to be the 8th comeback win. Like, this is it. It was like, and I hate to bring this up to you Cub fans, but I'm gonna start doing it because this is what we do, divided. But it felt like the 05 White Sox when everything was going their way. It was like they were so like everything was going their way in 05.
Like a drop third strike.
Whatever you want to call it. I had that feeling for a second. He scores the touchdown. Cairo Santos hits the extra point, and I look at my cousin Kevin. I put the reaction video, on my social media, and I'm like, bro, we're gonna win this, bro. We're gonna win it all.
So I didn't think you guys were gonna win the game there. I did think you're gonna win the game when Caleb converted that 4th down in overtime when he rushed for 4 yards to get that conversion. But I did that play. We can dissect it a little bit here, but I'm gonna throw it to Brandon real quick before I say this. I'll say the play where he threw that interception. It was, we can get into how DJ Moore ran the route, how Caleb threw that ball. But I will say, when he converted that 4th down, I was like, they're winning this game. Because all they had to do was go down and kick a field goal. But Brandon, now your reaction to what happened on Sunday.
So I was out in Tinley Park. I was actually at a Bears bar for the game. We got invited by a couple that we hang out with. Actually, it's my daughter's boyfriend's parents. So we were hanging out with them. My daughter, her boyfriend were all there. And when Caleb hits that touchdown, I hugged like 20 people that I don't know. Like, the place,
Tilo would have done the same thing.
The place erupted. Everybody, I was going nuts. I was screaming. Everybody, we're hugging one another. We're high fiving. The bar was going crazy. We all had the same feeling. We're winning the game. We're winning the game. I mean, people are chanting, "Let's go Bears!" Iceman, all sorts of things, right? And then, the interception happens, and we can get to DJ Moore here in just a minute because I'll ship his ass out of town so damn quick, so damn quick. Give me an offensive pass interference at some point. Like, go tackle the defender if you're not going to get to the ball. But anyway, the interception happens, and I sat back, and the whole bar got quiet because it kind of like you knew you couldn't give the Rams the ball back in overtime. You knew that once you got that ball, you had to at least put a field goal on the board. Yeah. And it went silent. And then after their field goal goes through, the game's over. It's still silent. But 2 minutes after that, the bar starts clapping. And the whole bar again erupts and "Let's go Bears" chants because everybody knows how special of a season this was. Yeah. And look, I think that the Bears are in a good spot. I love Ben Johnson. I think Caleb's a superstar. I think that they're going to be good for a while. But it's the same thing the Detroit Lions thought. It's the same thing that the Washington Commanders thought. So there is a chance that this is the only season that we see. Now, I don't expect that to happen. I think it's going to go further. But what you're seeing here in Chicago was special, and we haven't seen this in a long time. And I don't think we've ever, in our lifetimes, Tilo, have ever felt that we're okay going into next season. Because after 2006, look, Rex Grossman was our quarterback. We didn't think we were okay going into the next season.
And Cedric Benson was kind of iffy, and then he got traded like a couple of years afterwards.
And then the same thing with in 2018. Like, we knew that offense wasn't great. Yeah. 2020, I mean, they were 8-8 when they got in the playoffs. So, like, you have a different feeling this time as a Bears fan. Like, okay, let's retool. And now when you look at their salary cap situation where they can clear up $88 million in salary cap without making a trade, without making any cuts, without doing anything, just based off of their incentive program that they have, $88 million more in cap space before you make any moves, you are in a good spot with the Chicago Bears. And look, Tilo, I know you referenced it felt like the 05 White Sox. To me, that felt like that game, that moment with Caleb felt the same way Chiefs fans felt with 13 seconds left on the clock. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, we never felt that way. And this season for me felt more like 2015 Cubs, where they got into the playoffs a year ahead of schedule, and they beat the Cardinals to move on to the NLCS. Even though they got swept in the NLCS by the Mets, they still beat their rival, their nemesis, the team we hate and the fan base that we hate to get to that next level. And that's what the Bears did this year. So as much as you'd like to bring it to White Sox in 2005, this is actually more like the Cubs in 2015. And I think this team,
because you had fantastic rookie work from like guys like Monangai, Burton, Loveland, go on. You had rookie of the year, Chris Bryant, play for that 15
You had the head coach that you bring in that just takes you out of nowhere.
Exactly. Right? You also have fantastic guys you see that you're working that built this team to where it is now. You can talk about, the Dexters of the world, the Edmonds, the TJ Edwards, the Stevensons, to bringing in guys like Jonah Jackson, Tooney, Dahlman, like just absolutely redesigning the offensive line. And I can associate that with, the Kyle Hendrickses, the Anthony Rizzos, the Addison Russells, even though we don't really like that guy.
And now you just hope that the 2026 Bears are the 2016 Cubs, right? Like you win the Super Bowl now.
We'll have to see, because when we get to March and April, I remember going into winter that year, the Cubs were like, that was the team. It was either them, and it was like the Rangers because they were really good, the Blue Jays. Those were the teams picked to win the World Series. Everybody saw it as like, it's the Cubs or it's nobody that year.
Right.
I don't know if I feel the same way next year going in. If the Bears are nobody, but honestly, in the North at least, you got to give the favorites to the Bears going in next season.
You do. You got to give them favorites, and I actually agree with the 2015 analogy with the Cubs. Like, yes, after the game, yes, but that moment when Caleb dots that ball to Kmet, I was like, dude, this is. I felt like I knew we were going to win, regardless of like. We're going to get into overtime and we're going to score, and that's it. I've never felt so confident in a Bears team.
Do you want to watch it again?
I've been watching.
I've got it right here. Bro. Do you want the play? Let's watch the play.
Kmet in motion. Williams drifting, sprinting for space, in all kinds of trouble. Put it up for grabs to the end zone. Kmet! He got it for the touchdown! They've done it again!
Dude, Mike Tirico's a legend, y'all.
Dude,
Mike Tirico's a legend.
Have you heard Kevin Harlan's call of that?
I have not yet.
So I heard it last night because we work with Westwood One now, so I got to hear the Kevin Harlan. Unbelievable.
Let's find
I'll send it to you later. Right. But it is phenomenal. I mean, the way Harlan's a legend. I can
probably pull it up and get it if you want. So,
if you can find it, let's listen to it. But
I gotcha.
I mean, it's fantastic. And just that moment, man. Like, I mean, I saw your video. Like, I didn't take a video because we were in the bar, we were in the moment, so I wasn't even thinking about a video. It was funny because when the Bears had the ball in overtime, I told my wife, hey, if they score, take a video. And instead, she took a video of the Rams field goal going. Yeah.
So, all right. So I
coming.
I found the Westwood One highlight. I wonder if I could play it here. Let's see.
You can't believe it.
You can't believe it. Kevin Harlan was one of the best in the game. Credit to Westwood for that highlight, and also credit to NBC for that highlight as well. It was just an unbelievable game. And then, overtime happens. Let's get into it. DJ Moore crossing route. Caleb tries to find him on the right side, and it's picked off by Cam Curl, the safety for the Rams. I want to ask you guys, do you think DJ kind of tailed that route off, or was it just a bad pass by Caleb? What was it?
Be kind, Brandon.
Caleb was expecting him to cut, and instead he took a fade route, and not only that, but he was jogging the whole time.
Yeah, he was jogging a little bit.
So here's my thing, and this has been my problem with DJ Moore all season long. I've said this to Tilo before. I've seen this play from DJ Moore at least 10 times this season, where he's just taking, because he's not expecting the ball. He's not the number one primary on a route, and so he doesn't think the ball's coming to him. And the problem is, you might not see something that Caleb sees. You have to run your route no matter where you're at in a scheme, no matter where you're at in a play. If you are the third or fourth option, you still have to run a crisp route, because what if 1, 2, or 3 aren't open and you're the fourth guy and Caleb sees something that you don't see? Run the damn route. And then once you see the ball's up in the air, he just stops. He doesn't go tackle the damn defender.
Yeah.
Get an offensive pass interference and give your team a chance to go at 2nd and 25.
He was lucky Curl just stood there or they stayed on the ground.
Do something. And DJ does nothing. Look, I think for me, and I actually think that this is a realistic trade opportunity for the Bears. You package DJ Moore in a couple of draft picks, probably a first round, a second round, maybe even multiple second round picks. And you send them to Vegas so that they can have a wide receiver for Fernando Mendoza, and you get Max Crosby in return. You get your edge rusher in return, a guy who talks so highly about Caleb Williams and the Chicago organization after he played them this year, a guy who wants out of Vegas. You go and get him, and the trade makes sense for both sides. I think that happens this offseason. And I think it has to happen. I'm done with DJ Moore. I don't want to see him in a Bears uniform anymore.
Tilo?
Yeah. So talking about that, what the Bears should do in the offseason, I have a couple ideas here that we should probably present. And you guys tell me if you guys agree with some of this. But
okay, all right.
It's something that potentially could help the Bears. I think that would improve and it'll at least keep us contending in the NFC North. So first, you cut Nick McLeod. Okay.
Oh, he hardly played.
Yeah, and that'll cut what, $1.8 million in cap space.
Yeah.
Okay. Second, you re-sign Nahshon Wright on a 2-year deal, something cheap, or maybe just
you want a team-friendly deal for sure.
Right. Re-sign Brisker, like I told you earlier. You sign him, maybe give him a 3-4-year deal.
Even with the injuries.
I mean, he balled out in the playoffs, man.
He did have a good post.
Can you confidently say throughout the season he balled out? Because he definitely did ball out in the game against the
Would
Rams.
you pay him top dollar with the injury risk? Because he is a high risk for injury.
He is, but what do we do with Gordon then?
Gordon, I think, is gone too because of injuries, not because he's not good. Look, when Gordon was in the lineup this year, they were the second-ranked defense in efficiency. When he was out of the lineup, they were 23rd.
Yeah,
Gordon, I know he's only like a 5'10" cornerback.
Yeah,
but the dude makes a difference on this defense.
Yeah, no, he does, and I can see that. It's one of those things where I say he performed enough for me to say, okay, let's find something out with this guy. We need to do something with him because he was a staple, man, in that defense. And this is where things get a little tricky with you guys. I got 2 more for you. You re-sign Gardner.
Cena Gardner-Johnson?
Yeah. One year or 2. You need a veteran presence, somebody who can fill roles. If things go crazy, he can fill a spot. I think he did a good job. He got beat plenty of times, but he also was injured, in my opinion.
He fits.
And then here's my kicker. Y'all ready? Are you ready for this? This is going to sound like a sin. But you go get Dobbs from Green Bay.
Romeo Dobbs.
You go get Romeo Dobbs. We go get Romeo Dobbs.
Is he under contract right now? I feel like
Tilo, get out.
Tell me what can this guy do on this offense, this Ben Johnson offense? Could you imagine?
Did you see him drop the onside kick against the Bears?
That's an onside kick.
Did you see him drop passes in the playoff game against the Bears?
I've seen him perform well against the Bears, bro. I've seen him perform well against the Bears.
He is a free agent going into.
Yeah, he's a free agent.
8 drops in that game on Sunday. 8 drops. I want a wide receiver who can hang on to the ball. Even Rome, man. Rome had 2 really bad drops. Rome had a drop in the end zone that cost the Bears a touchdown.
Receivers drop balls, man.
I get that, but Rome had like 3 drops in that game.
I know the free agency class.
Even Loveman had some drops.
Oh yeah, he did.
He did.
And
I had a cringe.
There was a couple where like the defense was really good defending him, and he could have caught it, but he dropped it. But there were some ones where he's like, "Man, you got to come up with that."
The Dobbs, bro.
I honestly, I don't like the Dobbs one. If I'm going to get anybody, I'm going to get Juwan Jennings and cut Zacchaeus. Like you replace that. I like that for the Bears. That's a tall receiver, can go get the ball, lengthy. I think he scored the most touchdowns for the Niners this year, if I'm not mistaken. So that's a potential guy that you can get him on. Here's another one,
and you're going to have to pay for him, but he's a free agent this year, and that's George Pickens.
George is going to want the bank, though.
But give him the bank. Let him be your number 1 because Rome showed that he's not ready to be your number 1. So let Pickens be your number 1. Let Rome be your number 2, And then your slot guy, I mean, you got all Burden was a dog.
Yeah,
especially in the postseason. I love Luther Burden. So there's your 3 wide receivers right there.
These are like sexy like draws that we want the Bears to go get. Like honestly, the structure, like what the Bears need to do is reassure that defensive line. They need to go and potentially get another linebacker because who knows where TJ Edwards is in his recovery. And they need to go and get some secondary help because obviously they got 3 or 4 guys that are off contract right now. Not mentioning guys like Steven Gardner-Johnson who are just that rental guys.
And to that point, you also have to be smart about it too, because after next year, you do have to go and sign Caleb.
Yep.
Because then he's in his 4th year. You have to
how much money is he going to be asking for?
You give him the bag.
Yeah,
I don't care what
Caleb
it is. He's the highest paid quarterback at the end of the next year.
Here's the kicker, guys. We're talking about all this, but we need to do one thing if we do all these signings and movement. You trade DJ Moore and a 2nd-round pick to freaking Las Vegas, and you get
you're backpedaling on what he just said.
No, but I that's a big that move is like I think most important.
I agree.
All right,
I think that deflects it all. If you can get Max Crosby on that line, ship DJ Moore, fill the hole, and get Max Crosby,
which is funny too because DJ Moore's the reason why the Bears ended up with Caleb Williams, and now you guys are asking for DJ Moore.
It's the business of sports, man. Come on.
Real quick, in 30 seconds, your grade on the season, boys.
Man, I'll go first. I'm gonna give the Bears a B.
Wow.
I'm gonna give them
that's tough. I am disagreeing with that.
That's fine.
Very much.
I give them a B because I still feel like regardless of how it ended, there were some mistakes that were made at the end in the playoffs. We could have avoided a lot of this Cinderella type story if things were done correctly. Like one example is Ben. All year I've been telling you, take the freaking points. He was at the 25. What were they? 25-yard line, 20-yard line on that first possession.
Are you talking? Oh, the first possession.
Yeah,
they were inside.
They
the
were
30.
on the 5.
They were in the red zone.
They were on the 5.
Yeah, I'm sorry. They were in the red zone. What am I even saying? Take the points. It's the playoffs. Small stuff like that is what
I agree.
Is what not lets me give him an A. But a B is still a successful season, man.
Yeah,
it's a successful. Season.
You're gonna change your mind here. I'm gonna get you to change your mind.
All right,
it's an A+, and here's why. At the beginning of the season, what was your thought on their record?
Yeah, I think I told you what I tell you.
You told me like 6 wins, 7 wins.
Yeah,
really? I said 6.
It was like 6 to 8 wins.
I said 10. I said like 10.
No, you didn't. You weren't that high.
I was 9. It was 9.
It was like where I was like barely missing the playoffs.
I was at 8 and 9, and I was like maybe fight for a wild card spot, maybe.
Yeah, I was there.
But
wild card.
They went out and they won the division. They went 11-5. They beat the Packers in the playoffs to go to the divisional round. They were in overtime against a team that a lot of people thought were the best team in the NFL all season long against the Rams. They shut down that offense. They shut down a guy who might be the MVP this year, Matthew Stafford, and they had a chance to go to the NFC Championship game. All of that happened in a year where you thought that 8 wins, 9 wins, maybe even 10 wins was their ceiling, and they exceeded all of that in the first year of Ben and Caleb. That's why it's an A+, because they exceeded expectations. Yes. Look, I agree with you. You got to take the points. You got to kick the field goal because you win in regulation if you do this. If Rome catches the ball, you win in regulation. There's all sorts of things that happen. But the fact that you were even there, it's already an A+ because you've exceeded expectations. Yeah. I don't think you can lower somebody's grade for exceeding expectations.
No, for sure. I understand that. I just know what could have been if some decisions were made, and I feel like a BB+ is not bad. You passed. You're the top echelon of your class. I think that the season was a success, and it's gonna get better. I think we had a Cinderella story this year, right? The way they pulled out wins, but we can be better. And next year, if we make these moves, we will be better.
Hunter Cadeau chiming in with a comment in the chat.
Of course, he says a Giants guy.
Well, he's saying the Bears could get Wan'Dale Robinson if the G-men don't re-sign him. That's another good wide receiver that the Bears could get. If it's me though, I'm the Bears now, and I see what I have. I'm shooting for the stars. So if George Pickens is the best name, on the wide receiver list, I'm going to get George Pickens. I'm going to get the best left tackle available. I'm going to get the best edge rusher available because your window is open now. And you've got the next 3 or 4 years of a window in NFL lifespan. You have the next 3 or 4 years. You've got to go do it now. So, Wan'Dale Robinson's a nice piece, but he's not the piece. And the Bears need I don't want to see any Jed Hoyer action from our guy and going and trying to get the cheapest option. Go spend the damn money.
You don't want the Michael Soroka of the world?
Polls, go spend the money. Go and get George Pickens. Go and get the best names on the market.
You took Brad Keller from us, man.
Don't take ill about Brad
You've
Keller.
got to go and get the best names on the market. You can't be getting third and fourth tier guys.
All right.
It was a good season, man.
It was a good season.
One of the top and we'll switch over in a second. But Brandon, I know you experienced 85, right?
Yep.
I have not.
I was 4.
He experienced it.
That's fine.
4 years old.
Yeah, you lived it. But this had to be like a top 3 season.
This had to be the best one.
Number 1 season, number 1.
Yeah.
And Caleb's throw. The top moment in Bears history to me was Devin Hester, and then Caleb threw the DJ Moore pass. And that was like the top one for me.
I said it on Combs and Fitz after the game on Sunday. I think Caleb's already cemented himself as the greatest quarterback in Bears history.
Yeah.
Already.
And now Caleb's
it's a very short list though. You know, it's not like the 49ers
me or
list.
you or Tilo could probably get on that list in a season, but
it's not like the Packers list or the 49ers list, you know. So.
But Caleb's pass to Kmet just took over the one to DJ Moore.
Oh my god.
It's unreal, bro.
Unreal.
Watch my video reaction.
Running backwards off his back foot on a Michael Jordan fadeaway 40-yard dart.
He ran
like, what are you kidding
20
me?
yards. 20 yards.
What are you kidding me?
It's so crazy.
I'm sorry, that's Stephen Curry type stuff, man.
Yeah.
So crazy.
I'm sorry. Go.
All right, let's, obviously there was more that happened in the NFL, and over the NFL we had more games. Yeah, the Patriots beating the Titans, 8 turnovers in the game was absolutely nuts. You had the Seahawks absolutely demolishing the 49ers. That was there. But the one I want to key on is the Broncos and Bills game. Obviously, that was the biggest game outside of the Bears and Rams game that happened this weekend. And the Broncos win in overtime, 33-30. Josh Allen, who everybody's saying this was the easiest path for him to get to the Super Bowl this year because there's no Mahomes, there's no Burrow, there's no Lamar Jackson. There's an easy path to get to the Super Bowl this year. And he ends up losing in divisional round again. 0-3 in overtime games in the playoffs. That's his record. 0-7 all time in the game. And now what I want to talk to you guys about is that it seems like the media wants to deflect blame towards Josh Allen, and they want to just blame everybody else. Why Cooks couldn't come up with that ball, why the lineman couldn't come up with a fumble at the end of the first half to give the Broncos 3 points that ended up winning the game for the Broncos in the end of things. I want to play a clip for you guys. This is Dan Orlovsky from ESPN, who was talking about that play at the end of the first half where Allen fumbles the ball and then the Broncos kicked 3 points to end the half. But this is what he said about Josh Allen and the offensive line.
The Josh fumble right before the half. Yeah. Josh can't do this. Okay. He knows he can't do this. But look, watch. Buffalo's there to recover the fumble, and they don't. Their big guy doesn't get on the ball, and they don't. That's 3 points once again.
So that's just a small clip that I played for you guys about how Allen seems to be just free and a get out jail free card and just able to miss all this criticism about he is not the one why they lost. Why didn't the offensive lineman fall on the ball right there, Tilo? Why couldn't, Brandon Cooks come up with the ball right there, and McMillan making a great play, and it was an interception. We can get into it too. But
we are.
Allen is saved from all this criticism. And if it's somebody like Lamar Jackson, he's going to get flamed up left over right. I've seen a lot of people flaming up Caleb Williams for his performance with the overtime interception there. But it's just why are we so hesitant as the NFL media? Why are they saying this is the best player in the world? This is the best quarterback in the game right now. But if he's the best quarterback in the game, why doesn't he have the Super Bowls that Patrick Mahomes has? Why doesn't he have the accolades that Lamar Jackson has? Why can't he get to the Super Bowl like Joe Burrow can? It's just like he's free from all of this.
Because
it's very frustrating to see.
I'm gonna keep it quick, but it's time to go. It's time to get at you, big dog. Lamar Jackson, besides the Zay Flowers, the Andrews, the kick loop in this past 3 years, you Ravens fans do lean on that, right? As a dang, we had it, we did it. But from the eye test, to me, still, I hate to say this, but Josh Allen, to me, is still a better quarterback than Lamar Jackson. And so the flag that Lamar Jackson gets, I think is legit because this playoff record says what it is, right? And his performance says what it is too. Josh Allen, same thing. I'll give it to you. But Josh Allen should have won that game. And that
should have.
Right.
Should have.
And that call would have made him. I mean, that was a catch, bro. Just like that was a catch.
Okay, I'll get you this.
That was a catch.
So if they don't win this game, if that overtime play doesn't happen, how come Josh Allen is not getting any criticism on missing Dawson Knox for a game-winning touchdown with like 10 seconds to go in regulation? Where's the criticism on that?
He's getting criticized.
No, he's not.
I mean, he even said
nobody's talking about that play.
I talk about it.
I
said it. I know he's.
I'm just saying,
but that's why he said nobody talks about it.
I'm just saying the Colin Cowards of the world. I'm saying the Colin Cowards, Dan Orlovsky, the people that are Sean McCoy. Like they're legit giving Josh Allen all his flowers for having a terrible game and not pitting the loss on him. That's all I'm saying.
Brandon, interject.
Look, the loss is absolutely on Josh Allen. He
said it.
You know what I mean? Like it just is. But the time was for McDermott to go. Like the time was for, and I said this a month ago that if the Bills don't at least go to the Super Bowl, Sean McDermott should lose his job. And especially with the names that were out there. Now look, now all of those names are gone now because now John Harbaugh's already with the Giants. Stefanski went to the Falcons already. Those big names are already gone, but there's still some other opportunities out there for an offensive-minded head coach to come take over this team. And by the way, it was an interception.
It was an interception. Are you on the side that Cooks caught it?
You know, I saw a knee down. I saw.
Did you see the process of the catch complete?
I saw a body part down with the ball not moving. That's what I saw.
And that his body,
it's not the same.
It's not the same because you can take a screenshot and say that happened. This is kind of like out of left field. But if I pause it right on Scream 2, the movie Scream 2, right? Stu Macher, who's played by Matthew Lillard, he showed up in a little cameo that's not credited in the movie. If I pause it just right, I can see Stu Macher, who died in the previous movie before. I can see him at a college frat party in Scream 2.
Was there?
If I can pause it at the right moment. If I pause it at the right moment, Brandon Cooks caught the ball. But if I continue to roll, he does not have possession of the ball, and McMillan causes the interception at the end.
Tell me what you feel about the Bears play then.
It's a different play. So you're talking about the Devontae Adams play.
Yeah,
so Devontae Adams catches the ball, comes down with both feet, and then makes a football move upfield. That's different.
Brandon Cooks
was not a runner yet. He was still he's in the air. He makes the catch. He lands. Now, if that ball, let's take the defender out of the equation. If the defender's not there, Cooks hits the ground. I think Cooks gets concussed because it looks to me when he rolls over, his arm goes limp, and I think he passes out. That's why the ball comes loose in the first place. He doesn't even fight for the ball.
I think McMillan had
But if that ball touches the ground, they're calling that an incomplete pass. But the fact that it never touches the ground and it lands in the arms of the defender or the defender takes it away, whatever the case is, that's an interception. I don't think it was never a catch because he never completed the process of it. Look, the NFL has a problem with the process of the catch.
They have a problem.
Because how come I can catch a ball in the back of an end zone and you know what I mean? And if I fall out of bounds and the ball comes loose, then it's an incomplete pass. But if I'm a runner and I'm running and I dive across, as soon as the plane it crosses the plane, the ball's over. But if I'm in the back of the end zone, isn't the ball 7 yards past the plane of the end zone?
We saw that with Isaiah Likely when the Ravens played the Steelers. Isaiah Likely caught the ball 2 feet down. As he was taking his third step, he lost control of the ball. But all this time, we're told you need 2 feet, control of the ball in the end zone for a completed catch. And then all of a sudden, as he's putting his third foot down, he gets the ball knocked out. Oh, okay, well, he's already completed the catch. No, he didn't. Apparently, it's an incomplete pass.
Yeah. No,
Which is why Bills fans got done bogus this weekend, man.
No, because Cooks did not control the ball. He wasn't even a runner. He was falling to the ground. The first appendage that hit the ground, Tilo, was his knee.
The only reason they got done bogus is because they lost, and then the team that beat them is now with their backup quarterback.
Okay.
Let me ask you a question.
Crazy story.
If I told you, and I tweeted this out earlier, if I told you guys in June that Indiana was going to win the Natty, and that in the same week we could be watching Sam Darnold and Jared Stidham possibly going to the Super Bowl, what would you have said?
I would have said
you would have asked where I got my
I would have said the Sam Darnold with the Seahawks was probably the biggest one I would say I would give the most confidence to, and then Indiana because they made the playoffs the previous year. But like, Jared Stidham in the AFC Championship game. So
I think Drake May's gonna have something to say about this.
He is. I mean, I don't think, but he's got the opportunity.
A free ticket to go to Super Bowl.
It's gonna be crazy. He's gonna do his thing, man.
Unless the Denver defense just plays like the 85 Bears. After the game was over, Adam Schefter tweeted out that Bo Nix suffered a broken bone in his ankle. He's out for the season. You celebrate one of the biggest wins in Denver history, and then you go into the AFC title game. Now it's like, what are we going to be, like 3 touchdown underdogs going into this game against the Patriots?
Bittersweet win ever.
It's the biggest bittersweet thing. Before we move on to MLB, we got more news out of the NFL. Brandon kind of touched on it a little bit. John Harbaugh signed by the New York Giants. I'll make this quick about John Harbaugh. I think that's a great place for him to go. There's a lot of up-and-coming talent that he can do with. In 2008 with the Ravens, there was a lot of up-and-coming talent, young rookies like Joe Flacco, Ray Rice at the time, Torrey Smith, and then you had veteran guys like Haloti Ngata, Ray Lewis, and Ed Reed were still there. You also had guys like Anquan Bolden coming into the fold. So it was a young and up-and-coming team. That 2017 loss to the winless Miami Dolphins that year. That was just a bad year in general with Brian Billick. But I'll just say this. The Giants, they have a great young rookie running back and quarterback tandem, a great defensive line. And I think Harbaugh could do some really good stuff in New York. We'll see how that works out. A little shout out, Hunter. McDermott, we mentioned, got fired in Buffalo, and there's been reports that Allen wants Brian Daboll to be the head coach there. So we'll see if that works. Jeff Hafley signed with Miami to become their new head coach. And then last but not least, Robert Saleh, the Titans' new head coach. All right, we're going to move on to baseball now. Me and Tilo, we touched on it with Bregman, and it's a great signing. Obviously, 5 years, $175 million, $70 million deferred. Brandon, your real quick take. I think that the Cubs, even though they should have done this a year ago, are finally spending money like a big league franchise should be spending money.
Look, I like not only do I like the Bregman signing, but I also like the trade for Edward Cabrera as well. You've still got to do more because you've still got to shore up right field. You don't have I'm not going through 162 days of Seiya Suzuki in right field again. I want a full investigation into the Japanese Gold Glove Award because I have no clue how Seiya Suzuki won 3 of them.
Yeah, maybe there's just no talent in right field. I don't know.
He's the only right fielder in the league apparently.
But
look, there's got to be something more. Look, I know Mo Baller. Everybody's like, oh, Mo's going to be the DH. I'd rather have Seiya as the DH. Sorry, Mo Baller. I mean, take your reps when you can get them. Come in and catch every once in a while. Give Seiya a break. Whatever you got to do.
I would love they
go get Cody.
Yeah, could be. I would love if they switch Miggy and Carson Kelly at that DH catcher spot right there. I think you give both opportunities to get 190 to 200 plus ABs a season. So now Kelly hasn't put up those numbers that he did in 25 like he did, with the Tigers and stuff like that, throughout his career. But I think Kelly is a definitely dependable guy if you need him, especially, Miggy got hurt a lot this season. It was just a rough season for him and they relied on Kelly a lot last year. But at the same time, that DH spot, with the right field, who knows what's going to happen. But I think Bregman, they talked about Tucker, and we'll get to Tucker soon because he just signed with a new team. They talked about Tucker as a guy who's a great bat, a great player, but not a good overall leader of a clubhouse. And they said the same things about Bregman, but minus the leadership, because he's a great leader in the locker room. He's somebody that can get in there, cultivate some good vibes. He can be a guy that can rally the troops and stuff like that. That's what I like, because you're basically getting the same type of value in a player from Tucker to Bregman, but you're also getting the leadership that Bregman brings to the locker room. So that's what I like about the signing. I love the Cabrera signing. He's got a filthy changeup. He's got filthy arsenal.
98-mile-an-hour changeup.
It's so insane.
What?
I'm just like, what the hell?
I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, and the rotation is looking pretty good. I think they can get another arm. The bullpen, they got guys from the Rangers. They basically got the whole entire bullpen from the Rangers brought over to the Cubs. But I like what I see. But obviously, there's a big, just stonewall in the way, because the Dodgers signed Kyle Tucker, and it's just like, now it's just like every freaking position they have an all-star. The rotation's like 6 deep. They got Cy Young Award winners. They got relievers of the year in their bullpen.
I mean, they're outspending the Yankees
right
now, dude.
They're outspending everybody. They're outspending 7 different franchises, all combined. The Marlins, the Pirates, the Cardinals,
Us? Are we in
the A's? Yeah, the White Sox are in that group as well. I wanted to throw it to you guys. I don't like, we can discuss this for a good 5 minutes, but the notion of the Dodgers ruining baseball. I know the CBA is coming up on December 1st, 2026. And there's a potential we're not having baseball because people are disputing about owners spending money in a salary cap and things like that. But the Dodgers ruining baseball. What are your guys' kind of connotations about that? Like, what do you guys think?
I'll be quick. This is what I think. The consensus and the popular take is, oh my gosh, Dodgers are spending so much money, ruining baseball. There's no competition. There's no parity. But does parity bring cash?
I mean, in the NFL, maybe, because this year there's been a lot of
all sports. It does,
right?
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. It does, but does it do it in the long run? Does it do it for consecutive years, or does a villain, does a Lakers team, does the Yankees, the Dodgers, the freaking Patriots, is that better for business in the long run? We all hate it as fans, but if you're a business owner, if you're an owner, and you're the NFL and you're the commish, you want. I have to say, you probably do want a villain, and you cater towards that. And so I feel like that's what's going on in the MLB. They're like, we're probably gonna have a strike, but we still need to keep the Dodgers where they're at, or the Yankees, or we need to keep that.
There's going to be a strike. There's going to be a strike, but the question is there going to be a lockout?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I mean, I think we're going to miss the entire 2027 season. Look, I wish the Cubs would ruin baseball. I wish the Cubs would spend.
Sure.
Like people that think that the Dodgers are ruining baseball, it's a stupid take, because you wish your team would do it.
Yeah,
you wish your team would spend like the Dodgers do. I mean, I as a White Sox fan, you wish you would spend 1/10 of what the Dodgers would spend, right? Like you want them to go out. You want your team to go and do it. Look, the Dodgers are just doing. I mean, they're not doing every player that they're signing. 29 other teams had an opportunity to go sign Kyle Tucker. The Dodgers went and got it done. The Dodgers offered him. The Toronto could have offered him more money. The Cubs could have offered him more money.
The Phillies could have offered him more money. I got a Phillies. I got a Phillies friend. I got a friend who's a Phillies fan. I'm like, dude, why the hell did you just let Tucker go to the Dodgers?
Let's take the name out of it. If I told you I could give you a guy who hit 260 last year with 20 plus homers, I can't remember the exact number.
I think it was like 25.
With anywhere from 20 to 25 home runs, but you have to pay him $60 million a year. Do you want him? Take the name out of it, because the answer
you can defer a lot of that money.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, this had nothing to do with money, because Phil was cheap in those 6 championship runs, but the feeling of like, oh yeah, I want to stay dominant. Of course,
yes.
You want that, but I'm sure this is better for business. If you look at the big scheme of things, that's what's going on.
You're looking at like, hey, what can we bring in Snickers? Can we bring in Arturo tires? Can we bring in
but spending money doesn't necessarily mean championship. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right, Grant? Like spending money doesn't mean How many times in the last 10 years has a top 3 payroll won the World Series?
The Yankees have been in there and they haven't won it. Yeah,
besides the Dodgers, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, the Dodgers are the only one that have been in the top 3 in payroll in the last 10 years that have won a World Series.
And that's why
everybody else is. I mean, when the Cubs won it, I think they were top 5. I think there was a another team when the Astros won it, they were 17th in payroll.
Yeah, like you look at a lot of those guys on that team that won in 2017 or in 2022. A lot of those guys were from the farm system. The Correas, the Altuves, the Tuckers. Alvarez's.
And when the Cubs won in 2016, they had a higher payroll. I think, like I said, I think it was top 5 in 2016. But it was just because of 2 players. It was Hayward and it was
Lester.
Lester.
Yeah.
But everybody else, I mean, you had Chris Bryant was on a rookie deal. Rizzo was on a rookie deal. Baez was on a rookie deal.
Hendricks was on a rookie
deal. Hendricks was on a rookie. You had all of these players that were still on rookie deals, and they weren't paying anything for the pitcher they got from the Orioles, who was just
Arrieta.
Yeah, they weren't paying anybody.
MLB fans, just remember that the Blue Jays were one freaking catch away from winning this whole thing.
I'm
sorry, that's wrong.
They were one strike away from getting 2 outs in the bottom of the the top of the 9th inning in the World Series.
I'll make it worse. They were inches away from a chip. Inches at home plate.
Miguel Rojas of all guys. It wasn't Will Smith. It wasn't Shohei Ohtani. It wasn't Mookie Betts. It was Miguel Rojas.
Unbelievable.
It's just unbelievable.
He was trash.
And they still almost lost to Toronto. I mean, what was Toronto's payroll last year? Toronto was like 15th or 16th.
Not top 10.
No.
Yeah.
So, like I said, just because they spend, because injuries happen. The Dodgers had the highest payroll last year as well. And would they have 90 wins? 91 wins, maybe?
The Dodgers, they're the 3rd seed in the NL last year.
Yeah.
So they kind of,
the Brewers surprised everybody.
The Brewers surprised everybody. It says the Blue Jays. I mean, I'm looking at it. They're below top 10.
Yeah.
I can't really. Toronto was actually they were number 5 in payroll last year.
Okay.
$230 million were locked up in their players.
And where were the Brewers, who were the 1 seed in the National League? Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like just because you spend the money doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be the best team.
The White Sox 27. We know they don't spend money. No, I'm not shocked. Of course, I'm not shocked.
We've been trash anyway.
Oh man,
Grant's the ultimate White Sox hater.
No, don't worry.
Like
even through your success on the north side, you still get.
I'm the. You know, it's funny.
Me, don't worry.
If you're the White Sox hater, you're the Cubs hater, and I'm the guy that's in the middle. That I love the Cubs, but I just don't hate the White Sox because who the hell are the White Sox?
I don't really care about the White Sox. The only reason why I bring up stuff up is just because of him. But other than that, it's just like cool. It would be different if they played in the NL or something like that. But it's just like you play them twice a year in a series. It doesn't really matter.
I hate the Brewers and I hate the Cardinals.
I hate the Brewers so freaking much.
Do you hate them more than the Cardinals now?
Yeah, I think they over. I was thinking the other day. I was like, the Brewers probably take number 1 spot now.
I don't think I'll ever hate anybody more than I hate the Cardinals and the Packers, but the Brewers are getting close.
I think for me, like the Brewers are top 3 for me at least, because like number 1 is Steelers by far. Number 2, it's tough. I think it's Oklahoma. I cannot stand that university. Anytime they play football or basketball, I want them to lose so freaking bad. And then it has to be the Brewers are next. That's my
all-time teams. You just talk about
just
baseball?
All-time. My hate list. Watch. I love when the Texans absolutely destroyed the Steelers. It was my favorite part of the playoffs in the wild card round.
Yeah, mine is Packers, Twins, Tigers, the Knicks.
I don't really get
Lakers, and then y'all, the Chicago Cubs.
So as an outsider to the White Sox, I can't really see like why the Twins.
The Twins because they had our number for years in the 90s, in the 2000s.
Do you see that? Like, do you see the Twins hate from the White Sox?
Yeah, we all hate each other.
Oh, yeah. They definitely did. Here's the reason why I don't hate White, because in the summertime, sure, it's a fun rivalry for the whatever 6 games that we play. It's fun to talk trash, and it's fun that way.
Afterwards, it's like
but in the wintertime, when we're at the United Center, when we're at Soldier Field, we're all cheering on the same damn teams.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So I that's why I don't hate the White Sox. I don't hate the fan base. I like to talk trash. It's a lot of fun. It's fun when the Cubs are playing the Sox and you know, or when Tilo forces me into a bet that I didn't even mean to be in. I was just there in the classroom where he decided to record. So he gets a free jersey out of it. So
yes, thank you.
So you know, it's a rivalry, but it's not a rivalry. You know what I mean? It means more to Sox. It's almost like the Packers Bears because it means more to Bears fans than it does to Packers fans.
Well, yeah,
the same way it means more to White Sox fans than
I've tried to tell him
fans.
so much. I'm like, the Sox care about this rivalry way more than the Cubs do.
For sure.
Like I tell him, I was like, it's just when the Cubs and White Sox rivalry for the Cubs, it's just like, okay, I guess they're the rivals.
And Sox fans just want to fight. That's all they want to do. They want to go to Wrigley or they want us to go to Comiskey so that they can fight.
Comiskey, U.S. Cellular, guaranteed rate.
It's always going to be Comiskey. I don't care.
Let's just keep it 100 with a cup of coffee in my hand. Real baseball fans are on the South Side. We watch the game. There's better food.
Oh, yeah,
I don't want to hear none of that.
Real baseball fans.
There's definitely better food.
There's better food. That's it.
The reason why there's better food, though, is because that's the only reason why people go there.
And make sure that you know that the little brother in town, all right, are not the Florida Marlins who don't fill up their stadium during the postseason. We show up. We show out. We know what the issue is on the South Side. You know what the issue is on the South Side.
I remember you and I going to a game in July where we were able to pick our seats, and we ended up 8 rows behind the dugout because they shut down the section where we had our seats because nobody bought tickets.
I've shown you numerous. I showed you numerous times this past year. There was games where I saw like maybe 100 people in the stands.
Location, owner. That's all I gotta say.
Maybe White Sox fans do show up, all 6 of them.
Hey, and remember, you guys are in the middle of a district.
They're in
what is it? A district haven. Like this is crazy. You guys have Wrigleyville, man. Come on, stop playing with me.
And what do you guys got?
Nothing around us. Nothing around us.
Gunshots and sirens.
We have a parking lot.
Yeah, honestly, the reason why. You can blame the architecture.
They've actually got like 4 or 5 restaurants and bars around that stadium.
They do.
4 or 5. Congratulations.
They do.
Hey, what do you want to do after the game? Probably leave, I guess. That's what White Sox are.
Look, man.
What do you want to do after the game? Get to my car safely.
Yeah. Not be pickpocketed.
Hey, tailgating is top tier though on the South Side. You know it.
No.
Tailgating is top tier. On a nice summer day. It's over with.
Who tailgates before a regular season baseball game?
The South Side. And that's exactly how it should be. Not y'all. We do.
Okay.
I mean, we should start though. We're paying $100 for a parking spot. We should start.
You can't even park over there, man.
Dude, I take the train. Anytime I go to Wrigley, I take the train.
I'm playing 5 hours to get to Wrigley Field before the game.
All right, let's wrap up the show. Let's talk about the Natty. Indiana won the national championship, beating Miami 27-21. Fernando Mendoza, 186 yards.
Yeah.
With that rushing touchdown, was just unbelievable. Willed himself into the end zone. And he continued to be the politician or the super nice guy or saying everything right in the post-game interviews. Like, let's freaking go, man. Let's freaking go. Obviously,
is he AI?
Honestly, I have no idea.
I think he practices his post-game speeches in the mirror before he goes into a game. Look, shout out to Pat Coogan, too, their starting center, who is a Marist High School alum here in Chicago. Nice. My daughter's a senior at Marist. He graduated from Marist. He's the starting center over at Indiana. Shout out to him, dude, for getting there. Dude, Indiana Hoosiers are the national champions, not in college basketball.
Yeah, I know.
But in college football, it's wild. Dude, Fernando Mendoza, to me, I don't know how you guys feel. Fernando Mendoza is the real deal. And I said this on BetMGM tonight last week, and the guys gave me a lot of flack. If the Raiders get the coaching hire right, if they get it right with an offensive mind, Fernando Mendoza is going to win the Super Bowl in Las Vegas.
Dude, I don't know.
That dude can make every throw. Every throw.
Have you even seen anybody who's been interviewed for that head coaching job?
I don't know if anybody wants it.
I don't know if anybody wants it.
Clint Kubiak would be perfect, though.
No, I want Clint Kubiak in Baltimore. It's either him or Minter. That's who I want.
What about Joe Brady?
No, absolutely not. That's the worst decision. They came out yesterday and said Anthony Weaver and Joe Brady are the 2 guys that have second interviews with Baltimore. if that's the case, if they're knocking it down to 2 or 3 guys and Weaver and Brady are in that discussion, I want
You
Brady.
don't want the young offensive mind?
Oh, dude. When Bills fans are saying, "Oh, take him, go get him," he's great. That's a bad sign for anybody. Greg Roman is great. Go ahead and take him.
Fellas, Tilo has to bounce out, but I do want you to finish the show. Continue to talk about the Natty. Before I leave, though, I have to tell everybody here who's listening, Chicago Bears, thank you for an amazing season. It was such a pleasure to watch you guys. Ben Johnson, thank you for changing the culture. Dennis Allen, thank you for hunkering down. Those players, thank you for believing in your coach and just thank you. We were in football purgatory for a minute there, and we are finally out of it. I appreciate you. Bear freaking down. It's a Bear city. If
All
there's
the way
something we
down.
can agree upon, it is the Chicago Bears. Thank you.
Except for Grant. He can't agree on the Chicago Bears.
We'll talk about the Ravens next
Ravens.
episode.
No, I was still enjoying the heck out of this.
Even
season.
Ravens fans don't want to talk about the Ravens.
Nah, we don't want to talk about the Ravens right now. I'll be honest. Brandon, real quick, obviously the biggest thing that social media has been talking about is Cignetti's first game in 24, where the stadium looked like White Sox Stadium, in the middle of July with 12 people in the crowd. But
Relax, G.
no, dude.
Relax. I was one of them.
No, you weren't. I know you weren't. You go to the games with the giveaways. That's when you go to the games.
I get free tickets.
Oh, because they're trying to fill up the stadium as much as they can. But man, the turnaround for Indiana, probably one of the biggest turnarounds in college football history.
Yeah, man. And look, we were talking about it last night too. Is the amount of fans that was a Miami home game.
Miami.
That was an Indiana home game.
It was crazy.
Miami was the road team. That had to have been an 80-20 split.
Yeah.
Had to have been an 80-20 split. But look, I mean, it's crazy. I was watching because my guy, we Alex Cohen, who I've talked to a bunch of times. We've had him on our show before. He's fantastic. Voice of the Cubs now over at, he fills in whenever Boog's out.
Mm-hmm.
He's an Indiana alum. So he was at the game last night. Yeah. Okay. So he was at the game last night. I was following him on Twitter, his posts, his photos. It's just a big deal, man, because you never thought that this football program was going to. It's Indiana. They play basketball at Indiana. Basketball. I didn't even know Indiana had a football team for a long time. You know what I mean? So,
dude, I looked up. I was like, who's played at Indiana that I would know? And the only person I could when I looked it up, I was like, oh, Antoine Randall went there. Okay,
yeah,
nice.
Yeah.
Lee Corso coached there, but I know him more for College Game Day.
Yeah,
that's about it.
That's the end of the list.
That's
right?
the end of the list.
But here's a question for you: if you had to pick a coach from college football right now, are you going with Curt Cignetti?
I mean, you have to. Right?
Or I mean, you got some really good college football coaches, right? I'm gonna forget his name now. The coach out of Georgia.
Kirby Smart.
Kirby Smart.
Yeah.
He's also considered maybe the best head coach in college football right now. I think Curt Cignetti, I mean, his recruiting and the things that he does, he's phenomenal. And I think Indiana football is going to be around for a long time. I love Curt Cignetti ever since his interview with, my name's Curt Cignetti. I win. Google me.
Google me. That's probably the most. I just looked it up. You know how many 5-star recruits that Indiana had on their roster this year?
2, 3?
Very few.
Yeah.
Even 0. That's
wow.
That's what it's saying.
Yeah.
I think, the fact that he's turning around these guys where they're not the 5-star recruits going to Alabama or Ohio State, and he's turning them around and beating those schools.
Yeah.
Is
how about the Mendoza, the Mendoza story? He grew up 2 miles from the University of Indiana, or from the University of Miami, I should say, gets denied an opportunity to walk on at the University of Miami, then goes to Indiana and beats Miami in Miami for the national title.
Got his whole family in the stands.
Oh my God.
It's a Cinderella story.
Well, it's unbelievable. So much fun to watch. I still think Notre Dame got screwed. Notre Dame should have been there.
Bro, Miami made the natty.
I don't think they belonged in over Miami. Well, I still think they belong in over Miami, but they belonged in over the group of 5 schools. The group of 5 school thing is stupid.
But the reason you expand the playoffs, and we're going to go way off track with doing this.
Yeah.
But like the reason they expand the playoffs is to get those groups of 5 schools in.
But that's dumb. That's dumb. You want to watch Tulane and you want to watch JMU get smashed over Notre Dame and Texas, who were still really good programs, who were really good. Notre Dame had the 3rd best odds when the final rankings came out. The 3rd best odds to win the Natty. They didn't even get in.
The off chance you could get, like, I'm throwing into basketball now, but the off chance you could get a Mercer beating Duke, or
this isn't the college basketball.
UMBC.
It's not
I know. I'm saying, but like the reasoning is just they expand it and they get like the VCUs of the world,
but
or
it's
the
not
Cleveland
the same,
State.
though.
I know it's not the same. I'm just saying
you're not going to get your JMU is never going to beat Alabama. JMU is never going to beat Notre Dame.
Dude,
JMU
honestly,
is never going to beat Oklahoma. Like,
I know they weren't beating Oregon, but they could have had a chance to get Alabama.
I don't think so.
They put up what 30 points against Oregon. I know a lot of that was trash time touchdowns.
Yes, but they were down by 40 when they put up the 30 points.
You saw how Indiana just absolutely demolished them on the ground.
Yeah, but it's still. I mean, they scored 30 points against the 3rd string of Oregon. Like it wasn't like, you know what I mean. Like
still putting up 30 points in a college football game.
Yeah, but it's still. JMU doesn't have a chance against those teams. Neither does Tulane. Those teams don't belong in the college football playoff. Great season. Cool. Go have fun at the Independence Bowl against one another and see who's the better team. I don't care. They do not belong in the college football playoff, especially not over teams like Notre Dame, who again had the 3rd best odds to win the Natty when the final rankings came out.
Yeah.
They didn't even get in the college football playoff. It's a travesty that you don't have the best 12 teams or the best 16 if it goes there, or the best 24 when it goes there. If you don't have the best however many amount of teams, the top 12 teams in the country should have been in the college football playoff. I don't need the 24th ranked team in the country getting an automatic bid over teams when you're jumping 9 or 10 teams that are ahead of you in the rankings. It's just stupid.
And then the committee is going to be like, just wait, because once those JMUs or the Tulanes or the Cincinnatis of the world, before they join the Big 12, once they beat them, we're going to tell you we were right. They may have had to wait 6 years for it to happen, but we were right.
Notre Dame's defense was every bit as good as Miami's this year, and their offense got better as the season progressed because they had CJ Carr, and he was a true freshman. That's why they lose those first 2 games against top schools because he's a true freshman, and he just progressed and he became a leader throughout the year. I think Notre Dame would have also had a chance to go to the Natty as well. I think that they would have put up a better fight against Indiana, earlier than any of the other schools did, Alabama or Oregon. But it is what it is. There's nothing you can do about it.
It is what it is. That's going to do a wrap on episode number 2 of season 3 of Divided Podcasts. Brandon, we're happy to have you on the show, man. It's going to be great.
I'm happy to be here, man. I'm excited. It's going to be a fun ride.
Dude, it's going to be fun in the summer when all we have to talk about is baseball, and then Tilo has his 100+ loss team looking like
they got better. They were fun to watch last year.
I asked him. I know he's not here.
Maybe 90 losses this year.
Yeah, I
maybe
asked
90.
him. I was like, if they can get to about 75 wins, I'd be happy. That's what he said. So, thanks again, man. We're happy to have you on. It's going to be a lot of fun. For Tilo, for Brandon, I'm Grant G. Lead signing off. Thank you guys for listening. God bless and have a good one.